Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Sadlier School Live. I'm thrilled to be bringing back Dr. Matthew Beyranevand, and today we have a special guest. So Matthew, do you want to say hello and introduce us?
Yes, absolutely. It's great to see you, Cam. How's everything?
It's great.
So what we are doing today is we are following up on the Facebook Live that we did on Tuesday. And for those of you that weren't there, you missed a really exciting presentation and discussion that we had based on the way that Nicholas, when he was, this is my son, 5 years old, the way he did mathematics, in particular, the addition and subtraction. And so before we bring in a special guest for today, I want to just review with you the way that he did addition. And this was taped about a year ago when he was 5 years old. Can you tell me what is 19 plus 18? Can you tell me how you came up with 37?
So the 10 and 10 makes 20. And then, I know 9 plus 9 is 18, minus 1, 17. Then you add that 10 to it, so it's 30. And then you add the 7, so it's 37.
And you can look back to Tuesday's Facebook Live to see a little bit about how we broke down that analysis of how we did it. And Nicholas is here today to join us as we're going to do some math together, the three of us. And for those of you that have been following along, you know a few things that I really focus on, and that's the idea of games, creativity in math, solving problems multiple ways, and all of those things can really hit home with this game that we're going to learn and play together today that's called Albert's Insomnia. So we're going to first begin by me sharing and teaching how to play the game. And then from there, what we're going to do is the three of us, we're going to play it together and see about how fun and beautiful it is learning mathematics in a different sort of way. So the first thing is how the game is played. You have 4 different numbers. They range from 1 to 12. There's 2 smaller numbers, 1 number middle, and then 1 larger number. And then we work collaboratively to come up with different ways to come up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., and see how high we can go using either 2, 3, or 4 of the numbers listed here. But you must use at least 2. And we have the basic operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So with this particular example of 4 numbers that we have here, there is multiple ways to do it. One way to come up with the number 1, 4 minus 3. To come up with the number 2, 11 minus 9, etc., etc., etc. So this is something that I do pretty much every day with my son, Nicholas. And it's something where he generally asks me to play it. How often is it you can say to one of your children that they want to do some math-related activity? I would say it's not too often. But in the case of this particular games and other games in math, we can learn math while also having a good time. So here's our challenge for today. We have the numbers 2, 3, 7, and 10. And what we are going to do is the three of us are going to switch off, trying to come up with a possible way to get the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And Nicholas will go first with the number 1, and then Mrs. Woods, Cam, you will go second with number 2, 3, and then we'll switch off. So Nicholas, can you go first?
3 minus 2 is 1.
Excellent.
Woo, that's a good one. Okay, so now I have 2, right?
Yes, so you have to come up with a way to get 2. And usually there's more than one way. And this one is a little bit tricky. So I'm going to do 2, which is, again, there's more than one way. I'm going to do 7 minus 3 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2.
Oh, okay. I see. And
So
now, can I reuse? You said I can't reuse a number?
You can only use a number 1 time. So you can use either 2, 3, or all 4 of the numbers.
Okay, so you left me with a simple one. So to get to 3, I would do 10 minus 7.
Excellent. And then 4, Nicholas?
7 minus 3 is 4.
Excellent. I'm doing 5, and I'm going to do 10 divided by 2 is 5. But as we've talked about in these Facebook Lives, There's always more than one way to solve a problem. I could have also done 7 minus 2 is 5. And I bet there's even more ways than that. But let's move on to 6. How would you get 6, Mrs. Woods?
Okay, so to do 6, I will do 3 times 2.
Excellent. Nicholas, 7.
3 minus 2 is 1. 1 times 7 is 7.
Excellent. I have 8. I'm going to do 10 minus 2 is 8. Mrs. Woods, 9.
Ooh, 9. Okay, so this is going to be 7 plus 2.
Excellent. And 10, Nicholas?
3 minus 2 is 1. 1 times 10 is 10.
Very good. And
Love
I'm going to build off what Nicholas said to get 11. He said 3 minus 2 is 1, and then he multiplied it by 10. I'm going to do 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 plus 10 is 11.
Ooh, I like that.
Let's
Okay.
do a couple more, then we'll reflect on the learning for this. Would you like to do 12, Mrs. Woods?
Yes, I can do 12. So 12 is just 10 plus 2.
Excellent. 13.
10 plus 3 is 13.
Excellent. 7 times 2 is 14.
Nice. Okay, so now I have 15. So I am going to do 3 plus 2 plus 10.
Excellent. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 plus 10 is 15. And 16?
2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 10 is 16.
Excellent. And I thought that Nicholas might need a hint there. So if a child struggles with it, a couple of things. First of all, we want to just give the wait time. We, as the parent, don't want to rush to give them a hint. It's okay to have some sort of struggling. Progressive struggle is a good thing, but we don't want it to last so long that there becomes frustration. So what I would do is that if I was giving him help on 16, I would say start with the 3 times 2 and then see if you can finish it. Not only is it giving him a hint that he can solve, but it's also letting him come up with the correct answer as opposed to a sibling or me just telling him or her what the correct answer is.
Yeah, that's good advice, especially for someone like me where sometimes I struggle with like over helping. So I like that starting point of just saying, hey, start with this.
Exactly. And then another thing here is that we as a team, which we're not going to do, for the short video today, is we want to see how high up we can go. And once it starts getting into the 20s, and sometimes we make it into the 30s, it becomes a real struggle where, again, what I like to do as a parent is if I can figure it out, find a suggestion, give a little bit of a hint here. But we want to give the child a solid 5 to 10 seconds at least to think about it on his or her own. And let's hear from Nicholas. Nicholas, can you tell us about what is it that makes you enjoy playing this game?
It's a challenge because you can only use your number 1 time.
You like the fact that it's a challenge because you can only use each number once. Because if we could use each number as many times as we want, it'd be pretty easy.
Yeah.
And what is it you like about math?
I just like using plus, minus, subtraction, and division.
Yeah, multiplication, division. You like exploring all the different ways about solving problems?
Yep.
Yeah, excellent. So this is one of the games that we play at home, again, literally almost every single day. And it's not a frustrating thing that many parents have where they want to pull their hair out. You got to memorize your math facts. But he actually, without ever doing a multiplication fact drill, has learned all of his addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division facts by playing not only this game, but other games, because games are very important in our house, not only for the interaction that we can have together, but how we can learn.
I love that. And I find that same truth in my own house with my kids. When it's a game and it's engaging, they're much more likely to do it and they have a good time doing it. And if it's not, it's a little bit more of a struggle. And I'm like, I don't even want to be dealing with this tantrum right now. So I enjoy your tips on how we can make it more engaging for these little ones.
Yep. And I'll tell you just 2 other games that you would think have nothing to do with math in it that we love is Rummy Cube that we play and Mastermind. Both of those you would think aren't really related to mathematics, although Rummy Cube has the numbers on it, but it is great problem solving, multi-step. It really engages the kids and helps them become better critical thinkers. And that is really why we teach mathematics.
Earlier today, Matthew, you had said that there was a blog article on this very game that we just went through, and I went ahead and dropped that into the chat here on the live for everyone. So if they want to check that out, they can go ahead and access it at that link. And you also mentioned that you went into this game and some other games into detail on a past masterclass, and I will drop a link to that masterclass in the chat. And for all of you viewers who are watching, if you click on the link to that masterclass, you'll get immediate access to those recordings where we have the trainings from the 2 days. And at the end of it, you'll be eligible to receive a certificate of participation for professional development reasons.
Yes, and that blog that you dropped is written by the only person I know in the whole world who loves Albert's Insomnia more than I do. That's Sunil Singh. And then you're right, that masterclass that I recorded with you last month, those have a more detailed version of some of these games. So please, if you are interested, take a look at watching those recordings. They're free and they can give you great resources as a parent or as an educator.
So with Albert's Insomnia, I saw on your little deck that you actually had like printed cards, like a deck of cards that you guys use to play this. Is that how you do it, or do you play it digitally?
Well, there's an app for it that you can use, but we actually prefer it's an actual deck of cards that we had purchased that we use to play the game, the numbers 1 through 12, and we shuffle them up, and they have different backings, which you can't see on here, but you choose based on the colors, and then you flip them over, and then you just have a go of it.
Cool. Sorry about that delay.
No
I was
problem.
trying to drop the links to everything in the chat for people.
Well, the more supports we can give to people, the better. So that's great.
Yes. So thank you all for being here with us today. If you did watch this live or catch it in the replay, please let us know in the comments. We'd love to connect with you even after the live. And Dr. Matthew Beyranevand will be back with us next week talking more math. And I will be back tomorrow at 3:00 p.m. Eastern, 12 o'clock Pacific. And we hope to see you there. Thank you, Matthew.
Right. Thank you, Mrs. Woods. You say bye, Nicholas?
Bye, Nicholas. It was nice to see you. And you grew so much in 2 days.
Bye-bye.
Bye.